Self-driving cars are officially in use on streets today, and they can be very dangerous to society. Self-driving cars can not only be dangerous, but they also take a lot of jobs away, especially in the US. Cars that drive themselves, I believe, should be banned from the roads. They're just not quite up to standard yet and just aren't ready to be put in use. I've done a lot of research about this topic, and I think it's something that's very important and should be considered through the government and all that. My first point is the education and finances of self-driving cars. Self-driving cars have a very intricate computer system put in them that not only the people installing them have to know how to use them, but also the people riding in the car, especially at least one person should know how to use the technology and know how to override it manually or fix computer problems and stuff like that. So with self-driving cars comes a lot of education for the people that are going to use them. According to autoinsurance.com, the computer system for a self-driving car will cost about $100,000 for that to be installed, which is out of most Americans' price range and is not something that most people would consider at this point. Next, I'm going to talk about the unemployment issues for these from these cars. According to alltrucking.com, there are over 3.5 million truck drivers in the USA. That's a lot of jobs, and if there can be cars that can be self-drove, then there can also be semi-trucks that can be self-drove, and that would be pretty detrimental to our economy to have all these self-driven semi-trucks being and taking place of the truck drivers, because like I said, there's 3.5 million of them, and that's a lot of jobs. On top of that, self-driving taxis like Ubers, according to BLS.gov, there are over 230,000 taxi drivers, and so that just adds on to the amount of unemployment that would come from completely using these self-driving cars and semi-trucks, and the potential is endless. It could lead into self-driving trains and all that, and that's a lot of jobs in the US. There are also no legal precedents that have been set in place with these cars, so if there were to be a wreck or something, at this point there's nobody to blame for it. They don't know whether it be the maker of the car or the maker of the software, the self-driving cars, or there's just no legal precedent yet. So it's all up in the air right now. There's nothing set. It's just all hectic and crazy right now. My next point is the total use of self-driving cars. Personally, and I think many people out there would agree that there is no way to completely ever get rid of manual cars with actual people driving them. There are farmers and ranchers out there who have to drive cars to feed cattle or to haul hay or whatever it is. There's not really something that can replace that for a human driving the car, because the GPS won't know where each bale of hay is to pick up, or where the cattle are that need fed. So that you're never actually going to get completely rid of um, manual cars. So there's always going to be, if self-driving cars were always allowed, then there's always going to be both manual, people-driven, and self-driven cars on the road, which probably isn't the best idea due to the different mindsets. One's a computer and one's a person. Also, self-driving cars don't have the capability of recognizing uh, human traffic, like when stop signs go down, stop lights and stuff, and policemen have to go out and run the traffic. These self-driving cars do not have the capability of recognizing that, which could be very dangerous. And they also can't recognize accidents. And so if there's an accident on the side of the road, they wouldn't recognize it and they'd probably get in a wreck. So as you can see, these self-driving cars aren't the best option to have on the road. I hope I've persuaded you, and I hope you agree with what I have to say. Thanks for listening.